I feel isolated, but I know it's really not that bad. If I just cut them out for a period of time, I don't need to see my best friends that much. And my parents, I'll make it up to them. It's not that big of a deal. As long as I do this for her right now, or for him right now, it'll all work out and our relationship will be amazing. It's just for a brief amount of time, and then I'll be able to see my friends again. If you find yourself telling yourself this, if you've had to cut out friends and family from your life because of your girlfriend or boyfriend who you're currently in a relationship with, or even your spouse, you'll want to see this video. Hey friends, Ashley Berges back today, and today I'm talking about a specific situation that you'll find yourself in an addicted or toxic relationship. And in this specific situation, you feel like you have become isolated. Okay, you're dealing with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your spouse, and over a period of time, they've suggested that they don't like your friends, they don't like your family. You felt as though you needed to push away certain family members as well as certain friends, even to the extreme of pushing away children from previous marriages. And it's interesting because at first you believe that if you just push away a little bit, and you stop spending as much time with them, even no time with them, eventually your spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend will come around. They'll feel better. They'll feel more relaxed. They'll feel less abandonment issues. And all of a sudden, you'll be able to have your friends, your family, and everybody back around. Well, I'd like to tell you that that would be the case. But what happens here in these situations is that you've given an inch, and the other person's going to take a mile. You're going to continue to do this. You're going to continue to isolate. You're going to continue to divide off your relationships because you really don't want to get into an argument with your significant other. Okay? Your significant other might find fault with every single person you know. Oftentimes in toxic relationships, you could have gone to a nice dinner party, and on the way home from the dinner party, your spouse is talking about how every single person at that party is horrible, how they don't like them, how they have marginal values, and they don't want to spend any time with them. And they can't even believe they spent as much time as they did with them at that event, even though they were the one that everybody liked because they put on the smile and their outside facade makes everybody believe that this person cares. Okay? And so as you get home, you hear all the anger and you hear all the resentment comments, and the last thing you want to do is deal with that again. You don't want to hear them arguing or fighting about the whole situation, and so you divide off from those friends. Perhaps your significant other doesn't like your mother or father, talks about how your parents are no good. And every time they go over there, they seem okay, but they find all of this fault in your family dynamic. And so you begin to find yourself kind of straying away from your family. Perhaps your significant other doesn't like your ex-wife or ex-husband and talks about them every chance they get. Doesn't even trust you around them to pick up kids from the previous marriage and finds fault on a constant basis. Oftentimes when we're in this type of toxic relationship, we feel as though if we just give in to them just a little bit, that'll appease them. If we just cut out of this relationship a little bit, or maybe get rid of this particular friend for a period of time, she'll come around or he'll come around and everything will just get good again. But anybody that's been in a relationship like this for a long period of time knows that it doesn't get any better, it actually gets worse. Over a period of time, the amount of your friends dwindle. The time that you've seen your family is at an all-time low, if none. Even your kids from a previous marriage haven't even seen their mom or dad that much because that's not looked upon kindly by your current significant other. So, first off, we got to realize, one, being in a codependent addictive relationship will do a lot of things that we shouldn't do. Throwing away our family dynamic with our parents is not good. It's not healthy. Not focusing on our children from a previous marriage, that's abandonment. Okay, that's not good. That's not healthy. And feeling as though if we just do this for the meantime, things will get better. Well, oftentimes when you're dealing with somebody that has these types of issues, especially abandonment issues, and wants you all to themselves, that's what's going to happen. You're going to be alone. And the interesting thing is that when you finally become alone, and you're just there with nobody from the outside world, waiting for that person to come home, waiting for that person to get off work, it's interesting how that person begins to seems to like you less and less. All of a sudden, they seem to get even more angry with you over a period of time. They seem to find fault in you even more so. And you have no outside world to talk with, you have no outside influences, and so you begin to feel completely isolated, stressed out, fearful, with a low self-esteem, okay? And so these are some of the things that you want to think about. First off, is in a relationship like that where you have already let go of your friends and family, and you've done this to appease this other person doesn't see you as another human being. They see you as a piece of property that they now own. Okay, you are a piece of land, a piece of property, and they don't want other people walking on their land. They don't want other people looking at their land. They don't want any of that. Okay, and the more you isolate yourself, the less likely they are to even be happy with you, because now they have exactly what they want and they don't want it anymore. The game being played here is that if you were to jump out of that relationship, if you were to go hang out with your friends right now, call them up and go hang out with them, the other person, your girlfriend, boyfriend, or significant other, would be literally calling you, texting you at all times, trying to figure out where you are and who you're with. And all of a sudden, the attention that you haven't gotten in months, you're going to get it all back in a couple of hours. This is a game. This is an addicted, codependent relationship game. And so one of the things you want to look at is your value. Why are you allowing yourself to abandon the life that you've had for this one person? Okay? Is this any way to live? The next thing is that you owe your friends and family some knowledge of why you're doing this. Because right now, they just feel completely abandoned by you. Okay? And I understand that you've done it to try to keep the peace in the relationship, but this is the only relationship you're keeping the peace in. And do you realize that the more and more you have isolated yourself, the less valuable you are to that significant other? They find less and less value in you because now you're doing everything they want you to do. They own you. And so I want you to begin to think about that, because if you're actually looking for a healthy relationship, you've got to let go of the codependent relationships. You've got to realize that many of us were raised in family dynamics that were not healthy, and we've got to work to figure out who we are, okay? And we have to get healthy within ourselves. But that begins by when we're in a relationship that's taking our will to live, so to speak, that's isolating us. We got to look at, one, we have isolated ourselves. But two, one of the biggest things that you want to look at is how unhealthy this dynamic has become. I hope this video has helped you. And if it has, please give us a thumbs up on the video, as well as comment on the video if you've gone through this isolation, if you've felt the sadness because you've had to cut out friends and family. I'd love to know how you triumphed over that. And I'm sure that also meant that you exited the relationship as well. Any of that information can help our community. There's many people going through that right now, and they need all the help we can give and support. So let's support one another in this community to help us live our true life and to help us find who we truly are. And you know what I'm going to say. Don't forget to live your true life.